You're onto the segment Inspiration for Influence. Today I have a young person that has passion about issues that has to do with young people. We are going to be talking about dreams. But before then, join me as I welcome Obed Akanya to the program. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure having you on Path to Pinnacle.
My pleasure too. Thank you so much, and I believe that we're going to have a great time, talking to the viewers out there.
Thank you very much. We want to be talking about dreams. When we say dream or a dream, what are we actually talking about?
When we talk about dreams, I think we are referring to a picture of a preferred future in the mind of whoever carries that dream, or an aspiration in the heart and in the mind of someone who wants to get to a place better than where what he considers his current realities are. I think that's a very precise way to put what dream is.
Okay, how can somebody have a big dream? Because I often hear people say, this is a big dream.
Yeah.
How would you differentiate a big dream from a small dream? And how would you discover or get to know your dream?
Okay, I think a small dream let me start with small dream. Small dream will be when you have expectations of yourself that are safe. You don't have too much, there are no too many risks to it. You are just playing safe. You don't want to do anything from the, outside of the ordinary. You just want to do very basic things here and there. That is a dream. It could be something that you want to do and is better than where you are, but it's not that elaborate. It doesn't involve too much risk, or too much of risks. But then, when you talk about a big dream is something like you've never achieved before. People around you have not achieved something like that before. Or people who had attempted such dreams are people that they look like stars. Far away from you, you can hardly reach them. Taking a big leap at life. People have such aspirations and dreams in the back of their mind, those intentions. I want to become this. For instance, if we have a Nigerian thinking, or any Nigerian thinking that he wants to become an astronaut someday, that's a big dream. Because no Nigerian, has had the opportunity to be a certified astronaut. At least not to the best of my knowledge. I don't know anyone that might say, okay, this person is an astronaut and is from Nigeria. That would be a big dream. Or, having a dream of Nigeria winning the World Cup someday. I'm talking about the Senior World Cup someday. That's a big dream because we've not been there before. It's not like it's not doable, but it will involve a lot of steps. So those are the kind of things I'm talking about. The differences between small dream, or the difference between the small dream and a big dream.
Okay, in dream, is it something that happens to you or is something you work towards getting?
Okay, I think both. Number one, the fulfillment of a dream is what you work towards. But a dream itself, birthing a dream in itself is something that happens to you. You wake up and you have this expectation, this desire to become somebody great, somebody mega, somebody that can take over the world and do something significant and leave your foot on the sands of time. That is what comes to you. It is something that is inborn. It comes to you and then you begin to think, I could be that. I could be that person. I can be as great as that other person has been or is right now. So that is something that comes to you, that happens to you. But then, the process of actualizing that dream itself, bringing it to where every other person on the street can appreciate it, is what you will have to work on.
Okay, in talking about dream, for me as a person, we would not be talking about dream without mentioning Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, I have a dream. Because I came to discover that when you have a dream, it has a potential to outlive you.
Of course.
He had a dream way back that one day blacks are going to be recognized, and it came to pass.
Yes.
Even though he's gone, but we have seen the coming of Obama.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Actually, any dream that is built around you, wouldn't call that a very profound dream, because it's just personal. It's just built around your person, your name, and everything. But when we pick on Martin Luther King, that is one person that has inspired a lot of other dreamers in the world to dream very big and dream beyond themselves. For instance, our country, Nigeria, I think one of the things we've suffered largely is that we've not had leaders who have been able to show us that they have a dream that is beyond themselves. We've not had a society that has been able to convince anybody that we have dreams beyond ourselves. Everything has to start with us and stop with us. So when we're in government, we want our names to be, the streets to be named after us. We want to do things that only us can approve. And when it's not like that, then it's not going to see the light of day. But how about doing things for posterity, like Martin Luther King that we're talking about today? Martin Luther King saw beyond himself. I remember in one of his speeches said that I can see the promised land, and that he knows that when the people get there, he said, I may not get there with you. I remember that line. But he saw it, that he may not even be alive to see it, but he was willing to do whatever it takes for that dream to kick off. And I'm thinking that that's what we need in our society, where we look beyond ourselves, where we look, beyond whatever it is that we can achieve for ourselves. I think our founding fathers seem to have that kind of dream, but unfortunately there seems to be a missing link between them and whatever happens after independence. Everybody started looking into what can we do for ourselves, what can we get, and that has brought us to where we are. And I'm thinking we need more dreamers who can see beyond themselves, and that kind of dream is what will make Nigeria great. Is that kind of dream is what made America great. Unfortunately, you can tell now that in a couple of maybe years down the line, or maybe like a couple of decades, America may not be as great as it is right now, because the current generation are eating what the past generation had done for their own security, for their own safety and growth. But I don't think most of the young people we have in America now are that crazy about posterity and moving their country to another dive. I may be wrong, but that's how I see it now. So I'm thinking if Nigeria begins to dream that kind of dream that is full of posterity, we want to do this so that when our children get here, they will be better than the way we are. I think we'll get there. Unlike some of the things we hear from some of our fathers, say, you trek to school, so you too should trek. I am thinking that shouldn't be it. You trek to school, now you have the cars. I should live a better life. My children should be better, and we should keep raising the bar. That's a dream for posterity.
I once heard somebody said, like when you know what to do, the right thing to do, and you don't do it, posterity will never forget.
It will judge you.
It will never forgive you. Understand? When you have a dream, at that point in time where you get discouraged?
Of course. In short, discouragement is what will I call it, a constant in any very robust dream that you have. Anywhere you want to get to, anything you want to achieve, discouragement will come along. And discouragement works in two ways. Discouragement comes to either toughen you or to completely sidetrack you. And I think you make up your mind every time that discouragement comes to you and try to tell you, look, you can't achieve what you want to achieve. I don't know if I have my figures right, but the man that made electricity, I learned the guy, tried more than 100 times. But the truth still remains that he tried several times, and he kept failing. And when some of his associates or some of the guys working with him asked him and said, "Sir, we've been on this thing for too long. Why don't we just give it up? It means this thing is never going to work." His response, from what I learned, was that we have only learned in 99 ways or in 999 ways that these things couldn't work. Just that one time they got it right. It's okay, now we know that this is the only way this thing work, and we can improve on it from now. Now that is an attitude towards discouragement and failures. But if you're going to climb anywhere, the very first time you start is not, discouragement is like this. If you understand it this way, it's beautiful. It's like bringing down a big tree and you have a very sharp axe with you. The first time that you strike that tree, that first strike does not bring down the tree. Now you can imagine and say, with all my energy and how sharp my axe was, you mean this tree didn't come down, then I'm giving up. you will never bring down that tree. But you have to give several strikes, and then the very last strike that brings down the tree is not the strike that brought down the tree. It is a collection of all the strikes from the first one to the very last one that brought down the tree. So what we are saying is, when discouragement shows up, you ought to be resilient. Look at yourself, encourage yourself. You may not have anybody to help you. Because most of the time you want somebody to pat you at the back, but God is so good, He will send you somebody who will tell you, I love what you did, and I think you can do better. And you should listen to people like that. Your best friends may walk away. The very most important people in your life that you are hoping will help you will not be there to help you. But I'm thinking that you can put yourself together and say, look, I think I can do this. You can get some people who will just encourage you for a while.
Okay, so
that, back on track.
That is to say, when you try and fail, that doesn't make you a failure.
You try again.
So, but when you quit automatically, you failed.
A very good example of what you just described is when you try to, walk as a child.
Yes.
The first steps you took, you failed.
Yes.
But you didn't give up. That's why you're walking today. Can you imagine if you said, I don't think this is that easy, let's just stay here? You won't be walking till today.
Okay, I learned something about this. It's actually typical of life.
Yeah.
It's actually typical of life that when you have a dream, at a stage you start crawling, at a stage you take a first step.
Yeah.
Sometimes you fall, but when you fall, you wake up and you take the steps. It continues at the very tender step to when it gets stronger and you start walking, and that is when things will start working for you, and that is when you become resolute and you tell yourself, today is a dream, but tomorrow is going to become a reality. Thank you very much, Obed Akanya, for coming on the program.
Thank you,
Path to Pinnacle.
Thank you.
We've learned a lot from you, from your wealth of experience, telling us about a dream. I do have a big dream, and I believe that one day it's going to become a reality.
Bigger than Oprah.
Definitely.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
If you help me see I go, make you tell them I don't go. Yo, what's up? My name is Genie, and you're watching Path to Pinnacle with Jamila right here on the station. Keep it locked. Peace. I'm out.
Willpower is a strong thing. When a person refuses